Thank you. Can we give Zara and Izzy another round of applause? Thank you for those words. So now I'm going to bring up Frances Martindale, but don't come up here yet. We got to give her some applause. Keep it coming as she comes up here. I just want to thank you, Frances, not only for all of the work that you do, almost from the beginning of the school year to prepare for this week, but for who you are and what you give to every single person who walks through those doors. It's magic. And not many people have the gift to be able to give magic to others. So when we talk about the library being a magical place, you are the chief magic maker. And we are grateful, grateful, grateful for you, and so happy to celebrate this special moment with you as our librarian of Gordon School. We love you. Thank you. So much.
I am going to keep this brief, but I do need to tell you that from the moment that we knew that the Joukowsky Family Library was going to be built, we were in the stratosphere, Carla and I. We raised 2 daughters during that time in the library, and each new fillip of information about what the design was going to be like. We had to sort of at times spirit away into an office because it became currency for them, and who was in the know. But the part that I love about the Joukowsky Family Library is the family in the family library. And years ago through ALA, I was privileged to go to the Zimbabwe International Book Festival. And the library was still being completed, dear esteemed guests. And so people kept saying, what is the family library? They had seen the names of the participants. Tell us about the Joukowsky Family Library. Right then and there, one of the things that Carla and I talked about was what it means to be family. And as I look out tonight and I see you all, and I think about Jane Joukowsky, who was our star volunteer, but as I think about it, and here she is blowing raspberries at me. Yes. Oh, she got Uber, your star. Sorry. Uber. So, but the fact that it's always a partnership. It's a partnership this week with authors. It's a partnership with the 3-year-old who comes in and knows more about dinosaurs than you do. It's a partnership with somebody who is this big, who realizes that they love the library, and they stand beside you and they say, which has happened to me twice, Miss Martindale, I'm nearly as tall as you are. It's a partnership when the child, and forgive me, but this still is a dear moment, when they're going out of the door, received by Santana Sluss, and they've got a book, and it's called The Mammal, and they say to you, what does mammal? Somebody else says, what does mammal mean? And I give the definition, and somebody just says, my mom is a mammal. It's a partnership with grand friends like Rachel Garfield, who are putting the covers on the books so that the books can go out. This year it's been so fast and furious that the books have been going out with covers and without covers. And I have had a partnership with kids who have said, I've said, this book is a gift, it's coming back, and it comes back with a note. It's a partnership with Zara. It's a partnership with Izzy. When students push you and challenge you and come in as Zara's class did, who were looking with their math teacher, their brilliant math teacher, and were looking at the lack of representation of women in color in the STEM fields. And they came in and they said, we want to do an independent project. We want to do a project where we want to assess what's in the library. And I knew that librarian in me said, yes, and you will find it wanting. I know the stats out there. And sure enough, they did, and they found it wanting. And so I said, well, why don't we have a partnership where I let you loose on the database, you have to review it, just like Izzy did, you have to come up with a series, and I will put a portion of the budget, but you're going to build that list together, and you're going to press the button. It took, because of the supply chain, they completed it in June, it took until, I think it was the middle of October for the books to arrive. So that is one of the things that I want to tell you, is that this library exists because people like Randall Emai, who together with Karen and Tom, didn't we have fun?
We had a good time.
We had to go, and Joe Almeida, yes?
Changes all along the way to make it better.
That's right. And so if you notice, and we had an illustrator who was in the house who I can only say, I said, oh my gosh, you're just like my wife, Gina, because one of the things that he came in and he said, oh, I love the books in the corner of the library. And I said, she has that ability too. It must be the designers in you that are able to just see something in situ. There are beautiful, if you take a turn in the library, there are beautiful curved, scrolled books. And the architect, Randall Emai, made those, I want you to know this, with his 14-year-old son, because he was so aware that his time with his son was going to be short and he needed a project. And so the feeling is that they recognized something about what this library was going to mean to people coming forward. There isn't a day that I don't come in and say, good morning, beautiful library. There isn't a day that last week, and I was just sharing this with the Hudsons, that last week a child said to me, oh, I just love it when it's raining and we're in the library, and I affirm that. And so what I want you to know is that in so many ways, so many connections and community that Noni talks about, that everybody feels that this is a place that engenders that. And it is a librarian, but it is also the space and the gift that created that community. And I thank you for that, Jane Joukowsky.